I want to welcome everybody to the press conference for the Duke student athletes. A reminder that when you ask a question, to identify yourself and your organization and to address your question to a specific player. And also a reminder there's no video in this area. Floor is open for questions. Over here.
Nicole Arbach, USA Today. For Emil, Matt, and Luke, if you want to chime in, Jason's obviously had such a great second half of the season and month, and I'm wondering if you noticed, like, was there a turning point with him? Was it just kind of like once he got fully healthy, got in the rhythm of things, or what exactly has led to this, month that he's on right now?
I think it's just the work he's put in. And he's been doing a great job of getting up extra work with Coach Shire, working on, doing things really quickly and, just the small things of being a really good player because the talent is, already there. It's oozing out of him. So for our team, it was just about him being sharp. And, this last month, he's been doing an amazing job at, evolving, doing much more, things like rebounding and playing really good defense, drawing two guys and finding the open man. I think he's done a really great job, over this last month of just, like, growing up, not making, like, common freshman mistakes or something like that.
Matt?
Yeah, I think Emil answered your question.
For me, Emil said it 100% right, and I think he's just being himself. I think he's being the player that coach recruited him to be, and he's just he's all in. He's just being himself, and that's what we want him to do. We want him to continue to do that, and we have leaders on this team that have really gave him confidence to be the type of player that he can be.
Down here.
Emil, Brian McGawhorn, Devils Illustrated, Rivals.com. Harry Giles gave you guys big minutes in the ACC tournament, and he talked about how he was playing more instinctively with the more minutes. How have you seen that help his game and be able to help you guys out as a whole?
Yeah, definitely. When he's not thinking about other things, making a mistake or, just out there playing, he's a really great player. He's one of the most athletic guys in the country. His second jump is unbelievable. So when he just let it all out, and that's what he did, in the ACC tournament. He just let it out. We saw a really special player. He had about 6 sequences back-to-back in that UNC game that changed the game for us, really won the game for us, if I'm being honest. And, he's added a new dimension to our team and taken us to another level. So we have guys that can do that. We have special guys, and he's one of them. So for him to be playing this well, I'm real proud of him.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. Luke, has this year surprised you? Coming off of last year, and there was obviously all the talk about the freshmen coming in, and you've probably been the team's most consistent player. What did you do in the offseason in the summer that you think set you up for this year?
Yeah, last year was a learning curve for me. Last year I had a very inconsistent year, and my confidence wasn't there 100%. But I have guys like these two, great coaches that have built a lot of confidence in me, to be the player that coach recruited me to be. And like I said, like you said, I've been more consistent this year than I was last year, and just for me to do whatever I can to help our team win is what I want to do most. And like I said about having great leaders with these guys and coaches to build confidence in me has been really, really, really big for me.
Dick Cox with Cox Sports Broadcasting. This is for all the players. Guys, you probably feel like you went to the Final Four last week with the games you had to play. How much did that take out of you and being successful like you were? Talk a little bit about the confidence you have going into the tournament now.
I think that we have ultimate confidence. As far as being tired or fatigued, I don't see that happening. But me and Emil especially, we know how it feels to lose and lose pretty early. So we just try to relate a message that, hey, it's on to the next play, and coach does a good job of doing the same. And I think we still have a hungry team, and knowing that that should be good for us.
Pete Yakabelli with the Associated Press. Luke, was it difficult this year at the start? You guys came in as a preseason #1. Was it a difficult path to kind of get to where you are now, and do you feel like you're now that team that everybody thought you were going to be back in November?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been difficult when we battled so much adversity with injuries and things happening. I mean, when we started the season, we had some of our freshmen out, so it can be tough to, to build your team exactly how we are now. And once we started getting everybody back, we've continued to develop an identity, I guess you could say. And we learned a lot from this past week, winning an ACC championship. We've developed our identity of a team, and I think we're continuing to grow. So it's been difficult. We've been on a great journey. We've hit some bumps in the road, but it's made us better as a team, made us tougher, and made us closer as a group.
Al Featherston, Access Sports. This is for Emil and Matt. You guys were part of a team that in 2014 lost in the first round, and part of a team in 2015 went all the way and won. Is there anything going into the NCAA tournament? Was there a difference, or do you see a difference in terms of attitude, confidence, momentum, anything like that?
I think, in both those, situations, the great thing is that we have the experience now. So, going into this year, we know what it feels like to do both. We know, the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. So, we definitely, have momentum, from, playing well last week. And I think what we have right now is addition. We've added, and that's a great thing. We've added, Marquise. We've added Harry, playing instinctually, playing, at a high level. We've added Jason, learning more about himself and learning that he can take over games. So I think the biggest thing for our team is that we've been able to add in these last 3 or 4 weeks.
Matt, you got anything to add? You want to add to that? Okay. Down here.
Paul Witt, Heroes Media Group. This is for all the players. But you already mentioned highs and lows, and then back to the high of last weekend. How do you keep your mind straight, especially in that low part of the season? Coach is out. You guys are struggling, injuries and such, all the adversity. Is there an unsung hero, a player maybe people just don't know about in the locker room that's keeping your mind right? Maybe another coach that's just keeping things back on track. Is there somebody behind the scenes that really just helped you as a team to keep pushing through the adversity?
Luke, you want to take that first?
Yeah. We have great coaches, and when Coach was out, our coaches were tremendous. I think they did a great job. For me, I think it honestly starts with our leadership, our seniors, our captains. They made sure we were on the right track. They made sure we stayed together. And it was tough when that happened, but we won some big games, and it all started with these guys making sure we were just on the right track, and that was good for us. And like I mentioned earlier, we've hit some bumps in the road, we've hit some adversity, and when stuff like that happens, we make sure we're together as a group, and it's made us a tougher team and even a better team.
Even though I'm flattered by what Luke said, I think for this team, it was the pain we felt that really drove us to become better, not only as players, but as people on and off the court. And I mean, pain forces you to grow. With Coach being out, with guys being injured, and just everything being so unconventional, we had to learn how to adjust. And the talent was there. It was just about putting it together. And we were able throughout the season to strengthen areas little by little to where now all those areas that we were able to strengthen are starting to come together, and that was a good thing for us now that we can look back on it. But in the process, it was definitely hard, and we had to learn from it.
Any other questions? Down here in front.
To Emil or Matt, what has just Luke meant to this team this year, and And are you at all surprised at what he's done, considering the season was starting? Initially, he wasn't going to be a starter. He was admittedly inconsistent last year, and now he's obviously one of the best players in the country.
For me, I think Luke has been the consummate Duke player. He's emulated what it means to be immersed in us, and because of that, he's grown beautifully. It's obvious that he's been our most consistent threat, our most consistent player, and he's won big games for us, and we wouldn't be in this position without him. So I think it's just a testament to all the work he put in, especially this summer, and then just running his own race, not worrying about whether he's going to start, how many minutes he's going to play, just being a player. And when his number was called, he was ready, and I think he's done it beautifully.
For me, Luke's been the ultimate competitor. This year, he's shown that he can be a winner. Kind of like everything Emil says. But the consistency was the most important thing because he always had the talent. It was always there. But for him to be able to pull out something that was in him that y'all are able to see, but we always saw, whether it be in the summer or parts of last year, I'm really happy for him.
Stacy Long, Montgomery Advertiser. What have you guys noticed most about Troy?
Troy can really shoot the ball. They have a kid and Persons who's just a really dynamic shooter. And then they have a big guy in Renato who's a force down low, but who can also, spread the ball and shoot it. They have, I would say, about 6 or 7 guys, that can, knock down the long ball. So we're going to have to be really locked in. They're champions, just like us. They won their league. And they did it in a similar fashion, winning, 4 games in, I think, 5 days. So we have to be locked in because they're a really, really talented team.
Yeah, if I could ask again, a couple of games are already over. You guys will be one of the last teams to play this tournament. Is that a good thing in terms of the extra rest, or is it bad that, it's nervous waiting for the first game?
Luke, you want to take that?
I mean, playing one of the last games, I guess, it can give you more time to prepare. But at the same time, we don't want to be focused on what other teams are doing, pay attention to who's winning, who's getting beat. We're just trying to stay locked in what we're doing and prepare as a group. And we have one mission, we have one goal, and that's to win. And we got to take it one game at a time, and that's what we're looking to do.
Any other questions for the Duke student athletes?
Zach Braziller, New York Post. Luke, I read that you said this summer Grayson really helped you. Could you kind of tell me, how did he help you? Was it with your game? Was it with the mental side? He had kind of gone through with, what you were going through in terms of freshman year, not probably playing at your best, and, obviously had a great sophomore year.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Grayson, this past year. The 2 years I've been here. And I think for me, just being able to compete against him has made me a lot better. To learn from his competitive side, to talking about the little things of the game has really helped me a lot. And just being able to go at each other in practices throughout the summer and pick up games has made me more comfortable as a player. And all the guys have built confidence in me as a player I am, and it's just been really good for me.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right, now welcome Coach Mike Krzyzewski, and we're going to open the comment, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, well, we're excited to be here in Greenville. The great city to host the NCAA tournament, and hopefully we'll fulfill our obligations to play some good basketball. We're in pretty good health. We have a couple kids who are a little bit under the weather, but will play, but no like sprained ankles and things like that. But after you have a week like we did last week, I think you're more prone to having some colds and all that kind of stuff because of the emotional and physical output that you had in order to win. But we're good. We're excited, ready to go.
Questions? Pete?
Pete Yakabelli, Associated Press. Mike, back in Charlotte in October, you were like, yeah, we may be number one right now, but there is a long, long way to go. What kind of journey has this been for your team, and how do you think now they're playing like many people thought they would be in October?
Well, I don't know what many people thought because none of the people saw. So how could, I guess that's what predictions are. And that's why people make money, and that's why people go bankrupt by predictions. And if you did a careful analysis of each team and understood that each team has a journey, and ours was a difficult one because every guy on our team got hurt. I was out. So it's not about what people thought we should be, because that really doesn't make any difference, and it wasn't based on any factual stuff that they saw. So we've just developed, and we're a good team right now. We haven't used any of that stuff as excuses. And our league, in order to survive, you have to be good. You in order to live in that neighborhood, you better become good. And it's why we have a lot of good teams. We're one of them. And thank goodness that the conference exacts that from you, and that we're healthy enough to meet that challenge.
Blaine Fahey, the Paladin. What about this year is different or needs to be different compared to years past?
For what?
In order to make it to the finals in March.
Well, each year is different. You have a different team. You're not Brady and Belichick coming back, or hopefully the Cubs do it again. I'm a Cub fan. Let's see. They have most people back. We should have kept Fowler, but it's a different journey every time, and I like my team a lot. I'm proud of them. I think they've become men, and that's a good thing. So going into it, we feel we had a chance to give our best shot. We play a team, and every team that can beat us, and we respect that. And I think my team is mature enough to understand that. So it's what makes it interesting. That's why if you win this thing, it's a heck of a thing. And if you win it more than once, it's really a heck of a thing, because you do it with different people and in different circumstances. So I like my group a lot, and my upperclassmen, Matt and Emil, have really helped us immensely in their leadership to bring this team around.
Coach Gay, for years since the one and done got big, you've had guys like Emil and Matt, play for you for 4 years. I got to cover Matt in high school. What's your take on what he's done for you over his career?
Yeah, well, he's a believer. In other words, he's an extension of the coaching staff, not just on the court, but on the practice court, on a bus, and a team meal. He basically has lived the standards of our program, and for 4 years, in Emil's case, 5, and that helps these young guys immensely. And then they also understand, by being in so many games, they've been in games where we've gotten beat, and they've won championships, and they've won a national championship, and so they understand the process, and to be true to the process, and to stick with it. And Matt and Emil have been so instrumental bringing this team along. And you know, we're really lucky to have them. I love those two guys. They, you know, we've won a lot of games together, and we've developed this team together as a result of a relationship of staff, and especially with those two kids.
Go ahead. Dick Cox with Cox Sports Broadcasting. Coach, with everything you've been through this year, what do you think's been the big lesson this team's learned?
Well, no excuses, and try to win with what you have, and with the amount of preparation and whatever continuity you've had. You know, when I was out with from back surgery, you know, I went out and Emil got hurt, and you know, it's much more important that Emil played than I was there, and so we didn't have the continuity and the ability to prepare and get to know one another as well until February. And then you know, these last 3-4 weeks, we've, you know, Matt's been healthy. Emil and Grayson have been a little, you know, they've been hurt, but they're better, a lot better. But we've had them all there. And as a result, they've gotten to know one another better, and we've won close games. We've lost a couple close games, but again, we keep getting better.
Brett Friedlander, North State Journal.
Yeah,
Hey, Mike. As much as you've enjoyed being here in Greenville, is there any sadness that this tournament isn't being played in Greensboro where it was originally scheduled, and that it may not be back in North Carolina for quite some time?
Yeah, well, I don't want to take away from the great people of South Carolina and people in Greenville. They deserve to host a tournament, whether our state is smart enough or stupid enough not to have it. And but it shouldn't be a contest of one or the other. I mean, South Carolina is known for great basketball, and this is a great town, and so you know, we feel really good about being here. It'd be nice if our state got as smart and also would host not just basketball tournaments, but concerts and other NCAA events. But maybe we'll get there in the next century. I don't know. We'll see.
Middle. Hey, Mike, Kent Babb from the Washington Post.
Here we go.
Oh, sorry about that. What's the solution then to the previous question?
I don't want to be getting political right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Then following up one more time.
Look, it's a stupid thing. That's my political statement. If I was president or governor, I'd get rid of it. And I'd back up my promises. All right.
How disruptive?
As unusual as that might be. All right. Anyway, I don't want to get too political.
Nicole Auerbach, USA Today. Mike, what do you think's been the difference with Jason this last month? And obviously, I think he's playing as well as anyone in the country.
Well, Nicole, it's a good question, but you would have to, you know, just follow how Jason was able to prepare. You know, in the third week of October, he was really playing well, and he hurt his foot, and he's out for more than 5 weeks, missed 8 games, and even when he came back, he didn't have, because we're in exams, Christmas break or whatever, there's about a 2-month gap of the preparation that any player needs, but especially a freshman needs. And he's so good and he's so committed, and our guys are good with him, that since the beginning of January when we were able to have that, he's progressed that much. And I'm proud of him. I think he'd be playing at this level earlier, but I'm glad he's been able to achieve the level that he's playing at during this season, that he's playing college basketball.
Hey, Coach. Pete Yanity from WSPA here in Spartanburg. Kind of back to the point you were asked about before. How surreal, though, has this year been for you, because you had to stop and then start again,
right,
in terms of being in sync and, you know, being in the flow of a typical season?
Yeah, well, for me, even though I had the surgery, I was watching tape and being with the team every day, you know, maybe not physically. So I never got completely out of sync. And then I have a great staff. Jeff Capel did an amazing job while I was gone, and he's my associate head coach, and, you know, a lot of what we do is what he thinks we should do. So I like that, and but I haven't really been out of sync. The team has not had the ability to be in sync, and I've gotten well, so I'm fresh, I'm good, been ready to go, and but for about a month and a half there, not good.
Greg Peterson from the Paladin. What is one thing you think your team has gained from winning the ACC championship to prepare for the tournament?
Well, an ACC championship, that's the very first thing, and I say that not being, like joking. It's a tremendous honor, and confidence comes through with achievement, and I think our confidence it was good, real good going into the tournament. It's better as a result of playing those 4 games and winning, and now we have to make sure that our confidence coincides with the ability to still prepare, not have a rearview mirror and look back at it, but to be in the moment. They were in the moment in New York and they got better. Now we have to be in the moment here against Troy.
In the front.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Coach, when you look at Luke's year, how surprising is it when you consider in the preseason there was talk that he wasn't even going to be a starter, and he admittedly had an up and down freshman year, and now he's had as good of a season as anyone in the country?
Well, you see, you go again based on listening to people who haven't seen him. Like people didn't see him in practice or whatever, and predictions and all that. We can't live in that world, and we live in a world of quick judgment and shallow analysis, and that's not how you prepare a really good team. Luke's been great since the get-go. He had a terrific freshman year. Actually, in one of our inter-squad scrimmages before Jason and Marquise got hurt, I think Luke scored 47 points. And I said, well, he might be pretty good, even though it wasn't based on factual prediction of what he might be. And so it doesn't surprise me what Luke has done. Luke's a heck of a basketball player and competitor. And because he doesn't have a position, we can use him in different parts of the court. And his efficiency is unbelievable. To put up those numbers but not take the number of shots is really good. It's really good.
How much do you confer with Steve Wojciechowski during the season, and what kind of qualities do you see in his team that maybe you see in your team as well?
Well, I wish we could shoot as well as his team. They lead the nation in shooting. You don't converse that much. I think after a big win, you text or call. After a tough loss, it's even more important to text or call. Both ways. When I was going through my surgery and that, my assistants who are now head coaches, we have a family. Steve and I are family. We've been a part of, heck, he's probably 19, 20 years. Are you kidding me? And besides that, he's Polish, so we share an even greater bond. And he didn't change his name, and I didn't change mine. Well, the fact that they share the ball so well, and I think what Steve has done is he's taken the talent that he has and meshed it into a style that can beat you. And instead of trying to fit guys into another style that wouldn't be as successful. And a big thing for him, they play good defense, but they play even better offense. I mean, they play out, and I haven't watched them to study them yet, but that's just when I get a chance to watch them. I've studied Troy, that's all. So, I just hope we get a chance to play on Sunday.
Any other questions? Coach, thanks very much. Oh, you got one more? All right, one more.
Stacy Long, Montgomery Advertiser. What have you seen out of Troy that impresses you the most?
Yeah, well, first of all, the fact that they've won 4 games in 5 days. The Sun Belt is a really good conference historically, and again this year. And what Person's done, as far it's unbelievable, in the tournament. And they have a team that can really score the ball. Yeah, then, you know, almost 50%, 45% of their shots are threes. They're dangerous. And the fact that they've won makes them even more dangerous. So, you know, we respect them, no question about it.
Coach, thanks very
All right,
much.
thank you.